I want to call the meeting the order of the City of Washington Common Council meeting September 14th, 2020, 6:30 p.m. at the council chambers. Can we have a moment of silence for our veterans and all of our COVID-19 victims, please? Thank you. Pledge of allegiance, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, may we have roll call, please?
Councilman Lunsford, absent. Councilman Brown.
Here.
Councilman Gress.
Here.
Councilman Campton.
Here.
Councilman Emmons.
Here.
Councilman Dahl.
Here.
Councilman Showalter.
Here.
Okay, very good. We've got approval of the minutes of the August 24th, 2020 public hearing and the regular meeting in front of you. Do you have any questions on these minutes?
Move we approve them as written.
Okay, got a motion, Councilman Dahl, and Councilman Gress seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Got a written presentation of the claims in front of you. Anybody have any questions on the claims that's presented? I looked through them, I didn't see anything that.
Make a motion that we accept them and send them to the Board of Works.
Okay, Councilman Gress makes a motion to send them, and Councilman Emmons seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Okay, comments from the members of the public other than what's on the city council agenda? Anybody have anything for the council that's not on our agenda tonight? Okay, hearing none. Move on to, we got a request from Austin and Samantha Gray asking the Common Council to grant them a conditional use variance, allowing them to have horses on their property at 102 Field Street, located within the corporate limits of the City of Washington, containing under 1 acre requirement per Ordinance 9102 of the Washington Code of Ordinances. Do we have someone here representing the?
We have over now.
Okay. If you want, stand up and give your name, please, and then, if you would, please.
Austin Gray.
Okay, go ahead. Say whatever you.
A survey shows where we have almost an acre and a half.
Total, yeah, total acreage, right?
Yeah. We have an acre and .24.
And your fenced-in area for your animals, it's still the same size as it was before, isn't it not?
We've added on to it.
You've expanded the fence? And I didn't see anything on. Do we know how much that fenced-in area is? I haven't seen anything on paper. Okay, I couldn't see anything for that particular area. Anybody on the council got any questions for him?
We have a couple adjoining property owners. Are they opposed or in favor?
Oh, this is,
Yeah, we did have, I think in your packet, I think,
Show one.
yeah, we have a letter from one owner of one property that lives at 2229 Oak Grove Road.
Who is that?
It's Lola Page. She owns the property at 2229 Oak Grove Road.
Okay.
I think her daughter lives at the property. She's kind of straight north of this
I know there's, one trailer sits just a couple feet away from the fence. Did that person express an opinion?
I believe that trailer is owned by Ed Russell, right? That property next door to you, to the north? Is that, there's still a trailer there, to the north of you?
This would be on the south, just off, just
Oh,
on
the
Vine
south.
Street. Lot 208, it's Fisher, isn't it?
Oh, Fisher, yes, to the east, yes. Have you had, I haven't had a chance to talk to Mr., or is it Billy Fisher lives there?
He's all right.
Yeah, Bill, young
Yeah,
Bill,
he's all right. He can
yeah,
talk
Bill's
to me
not
about
gonna
that.
complain.
So,
It says it's 1.24, but on your survey, it does say that there's discrepancy in ownership of some of the vacated land.
Just like the alley.
Okay, it says vacated alleys and streets.
and street.
So I don't know if that makes a difference, if whatever that, I guess there was no title search done after that?
Not as far as I know.
Okay.
But the shared owner is Billy. We get along. And he doesn't pay.
yeah, there's, there are three sides, there's the one, to the north, and Eddie and Bill.
Well, just a question there that, next to Bill Fisher, it shows that they surveyed that in, but, a lot of times that goes back to that owner when it's vacated, so I don't even, but it's different every time, so I'm just kinda wondering how they came up with that belonged to you guys on the vacated roadway, next
They
to,
brought them the deeds in, and that's what they
The
said.
deed says that, that's right.
The question I had was, that fenced-in area itself, and we've just never had any verification of what that actually is.
Right. And most of that area, I've not raised horses, but I've been around cattle some and talked to a lot of horse owners trying to get water line across their property, and a lot of that ground wouldn't be considered as decent pasture for a horse.
Yeah, and then, of course, the variance they're asking for would, would be because they don't have an acre.
But they do, and if they had it to start with, they wouldn't even be here.
Yeah.
So I.
But, yeah, and then, if the fenced-in part, yes, they need to, that's what,
However, there's more than one horse involved as well. Initially, it kind of came off that there was going to be a horse, which again, regardless of the ordinance even at that point, putting 5 horses on a lot that's probably what's fenced in a half acre, probably tops at this point anyway, is really not adequate.
There's not 5 there.
Well, I have a picture of them from the other day when there were, I take that back, there were 4 big horses when I was there Friday. Now, and then,
So we ride it back to the barn. She goes there during the day. And the other one goes to my uncle. So there's only 3 that we placed there. Which you were fine with.
no, so the deal was, until we got this all worked out, what I told her was that I was trying to meet in the middle a little bit with this situation, and I said, she asked if she could bring the horses during the daytime and let them walk around and, do what they do with them during the day, that they had to go back to the saddle club every evening. And I've since talked to some neighbors, they approached me actually and let me know that she was actually putting them in the stalls or whatever they've got over there and kind of hide them out in the evening. Now, I'm not gonna say that did or didn't happen, but, it just sort of felt like, coming here and getting this request taken care of, she just overstepped that bound, went ahead and moved the horses in before she got this variance or we worked out the details or whatever with it. So, that's kind of where we've been with it at this point. We went from 1 horse to 4 or 5 horses there at any given time, that was kind of not part of the deal.
I didn't move them in until I got a city ordinance in my survey paper that said I had over an acre.
But
And the
wait,
ordinance says only 1 acre.
I'm not gonna argue about it, because you and I had a discussion that
And y'all said 1 acre and we were allowed to move them in.
I told you had to have an acre of property per horse, and it had to be a fixed-in an
That is
acre.
not what you said.
That's how it's always been. So, I mean, you know, I didn't just make that up overnight.
But that is not what our ordinance says, is it?
The interpretation of how we.
No, I understand the but that's not what the
So that
ordinance
doesn't necessarily
says.
mean that's not what it says, it just
Well,
means
it does
that-
mean.
that's how we interpret it to her before she took that step to do something.
No, I'm
different.
asking you, does it anywhere in their limit say anything on limits? I'm asking.
No, it does not.
I even got a copy with me.
No, I'm not saying it does say, no, and it doesn't, and it, like I mentioned in the email I sent to you guys, it's been something that's been discussed, previous administration, this mayor and I have been discussing it, you know, it's not something that's not been, you know, obviously an issue, but it just is not something that comes up every day, we've had way bigger fish to fry, it seems like, unfortunately, and just got kind of put back on the back burner, but that doesn't necessarily make it an okay situation either, you know, I mean, something needs to be done, that's the appropriate decision for this, you know, we gotta look out for a lot of things, and that, you know, we aren't just looking out for what they want, but, you know, what neighbors are gonna want, you know, those people may not always live there, you know, you're gonna have somebody else move in maybe a year from now, 10 years from now, and then we gotta readdress it, or, is that the best situation for those horses even? And what are we gonna do when maybe it becomes an issue, like what happens if something catastrophic happens overnight and they've got these horses that they can't keep for some reason? Well, you know, we're not really equipped to handle that either, you know, inside the city, which is, you know, because typically it's just not something we've ever allowed based on the acre issue.
I mean, there's been some horses there for
Decades.
There were, and then that last owner, it was a grandfather in thing, and that happened way back when I started 10 years ago.
there was a couple
But the
years
deal
ago.
was, there sure was, because there wasn't supposed to be any more horses after those left. So there wasn't anything there anymore, and that was the way it was really intended to stay at that point.
But the law says 1 acre and you can have your livestock farm animals.
So,
I mean, and none of my, so I got one neighbor is, they'll have the only one protesting. That's the only one.
I mean, I have a
And she
question.
didn't even make it here.
I have a question whether you have 1 acre or not. If he says that the ownership of those other spots are unfounded, I mean,
Yeah, but she has 1.24, is that 2.4?
we don't know. I don't know.
How specific is the word lot? Is that a platted lot, or is that a series of parcels?
I think it can be a series of parcels,
Okay.
yes. If I may, there's no doubt in my mind, I think this is obvious, our ordinance is deficient, no question about it. Along with Councilmember Campton, I agree that our ordinance it says if you have an acre, that this matter doesn't even have to come before this board. And it doesn't specify that it's an acre, that's roped off. Obviously, it's a deficient ordinance that needs to be fixed, but, I mean, we can't fix it tonight, and this matter is before us. The question is whether or not the council needs to even consider this.
I wouldn't think we would.
Based on.
I mean, that's my inclination. Now, the couple things I will point out, and our animal control officer brought these up, and she's absolutely right. If you look in the same ordinance, 9102, under paragraph J, it talks about failure to supply animals with adequate food, water, exercise, shelter, and medical care. And subparagraph L talks about failure to remove waste, excrement of the animal in their custody from all property, public and private. So I guess my point is, if the horses remain there, there's 2 clauses there that are gonna have to be very strictly adhered to, and you can bet you they're gonna be monitored by code enforcement and by animal control, and you're gonna have major problems with the city if those clauses are not complied with. I mean, that's my 2 cents worth here. I mean, I kind of agree with our animal control officer. I don't think it's a good idea to have, certainly not a good idea to have multiple horses in that small of an area. It doesn't matter what I think, I know how the ordinance reads. But we do have, 2 clauses there that we can, that we can control how those horses are kept.
Yeah, it'd be the same thing as a dog, you can't let them lay in them, feed them, you have to take care of them.
Well, but it gets us thinking to high heaven when it's horse excrement.
very different, way bigger animals.
Yeah.
A whole different ballgame. And, again, and I mentioned this with you guys guys too, again, there's kids all over that neighborhood too, and where that property sits, it dries a bone right now, but the next time it rains, all of that is just gonna run right down, especially particularly on that Oak Road side. So anything excrement, urine, whatever.
So neighbors who are not complaining now might be complaining later, so
Yeah.
keep that in mind. The fines for violations of these ordinances they are compounded daily, every day can be a new fine, so you're biting off a pretty big chunk here, that's all I'm saying.
I'll pay any fine, we put a $200,000 home on the lot, and we have enough money to pay for the fine.
Okay, that's fine, a lot of work there though.
Any other questions or anything, concerns? Yeah, we definitely have to address it. We got a few other places in town that's got horses. My concern is moving forward on this, what this could do, open up. It's the way the ordinance reads, but
My advice to council, I'd move we just table it and not take action on it, and we work on upgrading our ordinance.
But that don't affect them now.
Will not affect them, that's correct.
right.
The one thing the
Plain
council,
English, though, what we're saying is they can have their horses, we're not voting on it. Is that what I'm hearing?
let me put it this way, if the council is satisfied that the amount of land that they own is more than an acre, then it is not our call.
I'm not satisfied with that,
But do we demand they do a survey?
Well,
it's not a survey, they already got the survey.
It
yeah,
doesn't say it has to be fenced in.
No,
they've
The
got the
property, that's
survey.
what I'm
yeah,
saying.
at one time they didn't have that, and I've requested, I thought that'd be very advisable to do before they came to us, and then they came up with a survey after that.
They're saying it's a quarter acre difference, or are you saying, do you think there's a quarter acre difference in the alley?
Well, it's all this.
Well,
It's in question,
They've acquired some other properties
Yeah,
since,
plus that,
since the
not
time
just the alley.
we had the fire
And
gun.
Russell selling some more property, so we can have the horses.
But even with the sale of the other property, it's not on here, they exceed
Yes,
it.
it is.
Oh, that's on there.
Oh, okay,
That's it,
It's
lot
right here.
203.
It's right there.
okay, that's,
Which would probably be enough to get it over the .93 that we kind of calculated.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Because that's about a tenth of an acre there.
Wouldn't take much, yeah.
I'd say it would.
Yeah, cause he's,
Because we're
They're
at
taking the whole-
.93 before.
Especially if you build it alley.
but it should only be half the alley part of it. Cause William Fisher should own the other part.
But if you go by this on GIS, it's like .93, you pick up about a tenth of an acre with that other lot being thrown in.
But that's still saying that alley is not necessarily theirs, or
But if
this.
it's on their deed, it is.
yeah.
Well, he's saying,
Well,
the person that did their survey says there's discrepancies on the deeds
I got you.
regarding the ownership of those parts.
There is vacated alleyway they've let, blank, it's not colored in for their territory.
But absent
Well, half of
us
it.
hiring a
Yeah.
surveyor, we
Yeah,
can't
half of it, yes.
make any other finding other than what we've got here.
Right, exactly.
If that's the case, as far as that goes, all they'd have to do is really get Bill to sign it over to them, which he would. So,
Well, it's not necessarily just that. I'm not talking about the alley. There's Walnut Street vacated and Cable Street, that's Abe Avenue that's vacated.
Part of it, yeah.
So, and it even goes, the survey actually goes further than what I think it should even go, because if you're going back to the old adage that goes to landowner, this part right here shouldn't even be on here, because that should be Bill Fisher's. Because they were the adjoining
they
landowner,
may have sold it years ago.
and they could have, but it says the ownership's in. That's just my question.
But do we just go by the survey provided, or do we?
I'd say that's what we have to do.
Well, that's what I'm asking is, I would think you'd have to go by the survey provided, unless we're willing to take on the challenge.
No, they just asked the question if they thought it was over an acre, and I do not think that. I'm unsure, because I don't know the ownership of those.
Yeah,
I'm thinking it's a certified deed, it wasn't altered
the
for
part,
us.
Yeah, but he's the one certifying it.
I know, but I'm just saying the information he's providing is his best legal opinion,
Yeah,
or
his
his
opinion,
professional opinion.
his opinion says there's discrepancies in the deeds.
well, in the bottom part of section G is, you're talking about surrounding properties, you know, would not be adversely affected, or that unreasonable hardship would result by virtue of, you know, disruption of the existing use of the property. I mean, I have concerns. I mean, I know how it's written and stuff. And of course, if we move forward and we agree on this, you know, these regulations, I mean, I hope they take them very seriously and do what they're supposed to do, because we could cause us a lot of headaches. I mean, for the city to try. I mean, we want them to do what they're asked to do in this ordinance, and taking care of them, feeding them, and clean up after them, and.
Tim, in a case like this where it shows there's legal discrepancies, what are we bound to? I mean,
Well, as Councilman Dahl mentioned, I mean, we could, obviously, we could pay for our own survey and request that information specifically. We could require them to have title searches done to verify, to try to figure out what those discrepancies are and to see what needs to be done to clean them up. You know, and they may be unresolvable, I don't know. I mean, it all may be a wild goose chase, we may not be able to resolve it, period.
So those are probably vacated.
Yeah, 50 years ago,
Yeah.
or more.
Mm-hmm. Could be.
And there aren't very good records from 10 years ago, let alone 50.
that's what, I'm just curious if somebody comes in with a deed saying that, I mean.
Yeah, I mean, what would happen if somebody went and borrowed money to buy this property, they're gonna, you know, the bank is going to request a title search be done, and they're gonna go back 20 or 25 years to determine if there's any problems that would cause a blight on the title. And if there isn't, then they would go ahead and loan the money, and so I don't think you're gonna find, probably not gonna find
Which is
anything.
what you guys did.
You're probably not gonna find anything, no, I don't think they did. I don't think they would've had a title search done, but they didn't. They had a survey done. which is
So you
fine.
didn't borrow any money on this land?
If they had, I'll guarantee you there would've been a title search required,
Right,
you
well,
know.
that's what I figured, anybody.
But they just go back 20 years.
Right.
Anything beyond that is, you know,
Bill for you, and she had said that she sold Billy lot 208, was what she
Yeah.
told me.
so any of those discrepancies that's more than 20 years old are now moot anyway.
Yeah.
So Mel owned it all before?
So that's why,
Donna Jenny,
Her
Yeah,
mother.
Donna.
Mel's mother.
so that's why it goes around.
Her mother died and
Mhm.
she decided to
Right.
sell it.
So that explains why the other side of his is
Yes,
in
that
that
does explain
problem.
that.
So that
Yeah, it
explains
does.
that.
Yeah, it does.
Exactly.
Because I know Jenny's owned that up on the corner for
Yeah.
years.
Oh, yeah.
Alan, if you just look at the 7 lots, that's .96, and some of that alley goes in there, which there's no question on it, and then that Walnut Street vacation, I don't think there's any question on it, so that will get you to an acre.
Easily. too.
Yeah, it's a little over.
The Cable Avenue vacation's only about 1600ths of a.
Well, but that makes sense why it's all the way.
Yeah.
The way it shows, yeah.
Because she owned it prior and sold the land separately later
Right.
to,
Which even the one they bought from Russell doesn't include
the alley.
the alley. Which it probably does.
And the deed calls for those vacations in the deed that they have here, so.
But it's my opinion, you know, it's just one
That was out of
opinion.
our jurisdiction.
We
Right.
need to let them do it and get that ordinance changed ASAP. I mean, that's kind of our fault.
So there's no way that an interpretation of our ordinance as a department head and a suggestion as the upkeep of these animals, that 1 acre for this animal is just our opinion of that, or not opinion, interpretation of that ordinance is just,
The only interpretation that would matter would be that of a court.
yeah.
I mean, Other than that, we can both interpret it differently, and if it went to court, the court would have to decide what the correct interpretation is, and we'd have to point to something in that ordinance or in the code of ordinances that prove our interpretation is correct, and I don't see anything.
Right now, we don't have it.
Mm-hmm.
And I want you to understand, I agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
I just think.
It's
we're
not
opening
right,
a
it's just the
big
fact
can
that
of
it's the
I
worms.
feel
way
very
it's
strongly about the welfare
We were
of
saying the
horses,
can of
yes.
worms was opened years ago.
Yeah, well,
Now we
it's-
just need to
and
close
that
it.
probably was put into place, like we were talking about it earlier. I mean, that could have been like decades ago when people literally used horses for
Absolutely,
transportation, you know?
yeah.
I mean, so, like I said, I tried to bring this up before, and I should have pushed the envelope then, but there were just more pressing issues, so and now here we are, but, you know, I guess I just thought that regardless, I mean, I just think, in my opinion, with that many horses, and you know, I just feel like anybody else can go just buy lots now, even though they still have this much room for an animal, but let's just buy 15 more lots and say we have this. I don't think that makes it okay. I just don't. And at the end of the day, we're the ones that are gonna have to deal with whatever it is that's going on with it. And by we, I mean you all will too, ultimately.
Mm-hmm.
So my concern is I'm not saying they will or won't follow the guidelines. I don't know.
Well, they're gonna have to follow the guidelines, yeah, or
But, you know,
or
we have a lot of people.
or we're gonna have,
It's just time and time again, we're over there and that, you know.
I mean,
These are big animals and big feces and big urine, you know, it's not just a dog that makes it pretty easy to scoop it up and put in the trash bag. You know?
it's not we don't want you to have them, we just wanna make sure you do the right thing, you know, I mean,
It
I'm
looks
not,
like they are trying to comply with the guidelines now by buying the more property to do it based on our
Sure,
wording.
and I understand what you're saying, but I also explained to her before all of that just buying more property wasn't gonna resolve the issue of the amount of room that these
Yes,
horses
I agree
have.
with you, but just as the way the wording is,
Right, I hear you.
until we do something different,
I understand what you're saying, you know,
The rest of that matters until we do something.
okay.
right, no, I understand exactly
Like
what you're saying.
Yeah, like our city attorney said, we don't have to even, move on this. We could just, you know,
Well, we don't have to move on.
the variance.
because there is no variance to be done now.
They're in compliance.
Right.
They have more than an acre, they're in compliance.
So let's move on.
But, you know, like I say, I hope you do what you need to do, because I don't want to have to hear that we're down there, and we don't wanna be down there, but believe me, we don't wanna come down and have to, you know, make sure you're doing what you're doing. I mean, we don't wanna follow up and hound you or anything like that. But we do want you, anybody in the city, we want them to do the right thing and take care of the animals. Do you still have any of your animals down at the Saddle Club?
We have, Daisy, which is my big horse, and then I have my little one at my,
Keep three there, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, there's no, really, there's no numbers on this, so, you know, there's nothing saying anything about numbers, you know, numbers, how many,
Right.
there's no thing about, so,
That's-
I mean, I hope they don't put a bunch more in
We
there.
need to add some specificity, if
Yeah,
nothing else,
yes,
yeah.
we do.
squirrels,
A
and
number,
a bathroom.
pretty much it needs an acre per animal, pretty much, but,
I would go up to 5 acres if we're gonna change it, that's my opinion.
okay. Anything else from the council, on this? Do we need to just dismiss this? Dismiss this, and we, you know, we hope, like I say, I hope you guys, you know, do what you need to do. So we don't have to address it. Okay, that's what we do, on this variance. We'll dismiss this right now, and, hopefully, we have no issues. Okay. All right, Samantha, that's what we're doing.
Thank you.
Okay.
We got all the other because.
Yes, you go. We're done, yes.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
Thank you.
Okay, all right. Moving forward, we have no resolutions tonight. On the ordinance, we have, final reading of ordinance number 9-2020, entitled Ordinance Fixing the Compensation of Officers or Employees in Certain Appointed Positions of the City of Washington, Indiana for the year 2020.
Move to read that by title.
One.
Second.
Wait a minute,
Okay.
Tim's here, maybe we ought to read it all.
Did you have something?
I am a little short of breath.
Yeah, yeah, there you go.
Did you have something? Read.
No, I said 2021
Oh.
instead of 2020.
Oh, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
yeah, yeah, that's, yeah, we're-
We had to change that on
Oh.
one thing, so.
I'll make the motion to read by title.
I second.
Second.
Okay, got a motion by Alan, Councilman Brown to read by title only, and Councilman Dahl seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Ordinance number 9-2020, an ordinance fixing the compensation of officers, employees, in certain appointed positions of the City of Washington, Indiana for the year 2021.
And we did fix that part of the ordinance, changed the
On call.
standby call from 105 to 110 across the board, and fix the percentage of the second deputy's salary, so in the ordinance, so those have been taken care of.
Thank you.
Make a motion to pass ordinance.
Yeah, motion to approve this ordinance.
I make that motion.
Now, Councilman Brown makes a motion, Councilman Kempton seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Roll.
Yes, we have a roll call vote, please. Yes, when get, after we get down to that point, yes.
Councilman Lunsford is absent. Councilman Brown?
Aye.
Councilman Grass?
Aye.
Councilman Campton?
Aye.
Councilman Emmons?
Aye.
Councilman Dahl?
Aye.
Councilman Showalter?
Aye.
Okay. All right, this ordinance goes in effect. Second ordinance, ordinance number 10-2020, entitled Ordinance Fixing the Compensation of Firefighters and Police Officers of the City of Washington, Indiana for the year of 2021.
I move we read that by title only.
Councilman Dahl makes the motion, and Councilman Showalter seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, ordinance number 10-2020, an ordinance fixing the compensation of firefighters and police officers of the City of Washington, Indiana for the year 2021.
Okay.
Make a motion to approve.
Councilman Showalter makes a motion to approve this ordinance.
I second it.
Councilman Emmons seconds it. All in favor?
Aye. There you go.
Yeah, we'll have a roll call vote, yes.
Okay. Councilman Lunsford absent. Councilman Brown?
Aye.
Councilman Grass?
Yes.
Councilman Campton?
Aye.
Councilman Emmons?
Aye.
Councilman Dahl?
Aye.
Councilman Showalter?
Aye.
Okay, this ordinance will go in effect. And the final one, final reading of ordinance 11-2020, entitled Ordinance Fixing the Salaries of Elected Officials of the City of Washington, Indiana for the year 2021.
Make a motion to read by title only.
Councilman Showalter makes a motion to read title only. Councilman Brown seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, ordinance number 11-2020, an ordinance fixing the salaries of elected officials of the City of Washington, Indiana for the year 2021.
Okay. Motion to approve this ordinance.
So moved.
Second.
Councilman Campton makes a motion. Councilman Brown seconds it. Is there any questions or comments regarding this ordinance? If not, have a roll call vote, please.
Okay. Councilman Lunsford is absent. Councilman Brown?
Aye.
Councilman Grass?
Aye.
Councilman Campton?
Aye.
Councilman Emmons?
Aye.
Councilman Dahl?
Aye.
Councilman Showalter?
Aye.
Okay, this ordinance will go in effect. Other business. Councilman Grass, you got anything for the count, any?
Tonight.
Councilman Dahl?
I just asked that the attorney work on, get with somebody to work on changing the ordinance on animal.
Okay. Yeah, we need to work on this, and it,
Well, it's not just horses, it's.
yes,
All
animals.
the livestock.
Yeah, animals, yeah. Yeah,
Critters.
okay. Councilman Shaw, you got anything?
No, sir.
Councilman Brown?
I'm Good tonight.
Tim, you got anything?
I do not.
Back to the jake breaking now that Tim's here. Have you decided on anything, or?
No, I mean, we was talking about jake breaks and,
Put the signs up?
Remember where we were in the
Yeah.
last administration, the issue had to do with the Indiana Department of INDOT, yeah.
yes, NDOT,
And,
yes.
and at one point at least, they would not approve signs.
Yes, yes. That was where it was, the way I understood. After we had this talk, I was notified that, NDOT said we could not put signs on
So,
their highway, like 57.
so on 50, we could put them at the city limits then, right? Since that's now
Not
ours.
New
what
City
the
Street.
problem is, but you
Yeah,
can't
it's a
put them
city
there,
street.
yes.
57's there.
I know that there's one right outside Eleanor.
Well, they're all over the place, that's what I don't
Outside of
understand.
Odin has it too.
Yeah, I had one homeowner that earlier in the year address this situation with me, and how he lives on a road that the city owns now, Highway 50 on the east side. He was asking about that. He says they're really bad out his neck of the woods around the roundabout, and he asked if we'd look at this and think about this. That's the only one I've had that confronted me with this, and it happened to be on that. So, I mean,
We can certainly do it there.
we could do it on the east and west side of 50, but like I say, I think I can look into it a little further, but NDOT in the past has said, no way I understand it. I haven't personally talked to NDOT, and I can do that. I got a representative that,
Where we had last left it, Joe was gonna call NDOT, and I don't think that ever happened.
I can call Jason. Jason's our representative from NDOT that I could call and ask him about 57. And if they say that's the situation, then we, like I said, we can do it east and west.
But if we put a sign up, wouldn't we have to have an ordinance to enforce it?
Yes.
Yeah, and we don't have a jake break ordinance.
But we would make it before, obviously.
Yeah, before we put the sign up, yes, definitely, yes. I mean, I'll be glad to call Jason on NDOT and see where they stand, with NDOT and find out and report back by the next meeting. That's no problem. And then we can see if we can, but we don't have to have that to move forward with, if we want to create an ordinance.
No.
We could look at maybe what other communities has done, or go by, I don't know if there's anything on the state level or not.
There's an Indiana appellate court case, that's where I got this information.
Okay.
So there, I think it was Hobart, I can't remember what city it was, that basically they got sued and the courts ruled that they couldn't do it.
Really?
Because NDOT had a rule against it.
Oh,
Now that may be fairly old, I can't remember now what year that case was.
Is that on their poles or just in their right of way, or? It's
On the state highway, I mean, just anything on the state highway.
I'd say state highway, it'd be tough. I mean, being on their property, but.
I think the NDOT last time was the response was it was a safety issue to not allow them to do
That
it.
does sound right.
He can't use his brakes to slow down.
I think that's exactly right. Sounds right, Al.
I mean, you could, but I'd be glad to call them, look into that and see what they say and get, definitely an answer from them on that if you like.
Okay, the other, thing, Bert, just so, you can explain to everybody that fish out at the.
Yes. Yes, we had an issue Friday morning. I was notified at 7:15 Friday morning about fish was showing up dead in the water at the lake. We found out, we thought the water turned, and we found out officially today from DNR, the water did turn to cause this. And DNR said, and their biologists for DNRs who Kip talked to, I told Kip he didn't have to come tonight, I would speak for him, but said there's nothing we could have done to prevent this, and there's nothing we did wrong to create this. It happens. It's kind of rare, but it does happen. And so, and I asked today, and we found out it normally takes about 2 days for this to take its turn. And today would have been day 4. If you can't Friday, it'd be day 4. So I looked at the water this afternoon. We did some more cleanup today. We did cleanup all day Friday. I was out there at 1 o'clock, and the water looks good. I mean, We're going, the next 2 or 3 days, we're gonna go around and do some checks, we're gonna make sure we don't have any more issues. But the water looked good this afternoon. The guys out in the boat said, you could tell they are alive, they're moving. Found out though, the fountain, I thought maybe that's one, but the fountain said if it was working today, he said we'd had more trouble we did. The fountain would have brought the water up to the top, and we would have had more of an issue. He suggests to keep the fountains out, for 2 months, and then he said we can. Hopefully the water level goes back up by then. That's one thing. We're probably 5 or 6 inches short. Waterfall is so that's part of the issue. But we did save a lot of fish and take them to the upper lake. We did lose a lot of fish, but we did everything we could to save all of them we could, and some of them, of course, and we cleaned it up. So the guys worked 2 full days, hard. It was a tough job. So that was about it on the fish. So I think we're back. Hopefully we won't have to deal with this. Kip says he thinks it happened like 10 years ago. He can remember it. I can't, but hopefully it don't happen for several more years. So yeah, anything else? That's okay, Councilman Evans? I do have a couple of things. Beth, you got anything?
No, I don't.
Okay, I have a couple of things I wanted to bring up and get the council's idea on. I want to give an update on Highway 50 project. I get my updates on Monday, and the infrastructure on Highway 50 West is now 43% complete. They are right there. Well, supposed to be at the Meridian Street crossroad there, but they was over here on First Street this afternoon. So I think they jumped around Meridian. Meridian's going to take some time. They're going to be at Meridian Street for a little while. So they moved to First Street, I think, and doing some things, and then, but everything's doing well. I want to stress to, and I'll stress to the media that, everybody needs to be very careful and very slow and take their time through there, because now it's even probably tighter than it was. We've had some people, complaints of traffic still going way too fast through there. We got those humps in there that's not full, but we asked them to fill those up, and because this winter, we can't be removing snow or anything with those humps in there. So they're going to bring them up, but then that also slows down some traffic. You don't slow down some of them because it seems like they just keep on flying. But traffic issues and safety for the workers is my big concern. So I wanted to report that to the council, the update how that's doing. We are looking in, Councilman Brown last meeting said something about the rate study. We are looking into that. With Reddy is doing the financial side of it, and they're going to give us their opinion on the rate study. They kind of did it with their capital improvement plan, and they're just going to give their recommendation to us. They don't have it right now, but I should have that by the next meeting for you. I did look at the rates last year. We brought them all in effect, and I think, and I want to look and you guys think about it and let me know what you think. I think we need to, do a phase-in thing. Pick where's my notes? Pick up the oldest one we have on the rate study is last change was the electric is the oldest on 2009 prior to 2019, and then stormwater, of course, we proposed that. We brought that in effect in 2019. So we're, I think we need to, possibly one a year, and
Stagger 'em a little bit.
Stagger, yes, I think so. So I'll have more about that later, but we are looking into that, and I want to let you know I did follow through and looked at that. I got Brian, and we're doing a study. I had some neighbors down on Ogden and Jefferson are requesting a stop sign. And we're looking into it. We're doing a study because that's and seeing and we're going to have the police do some. They said they got a lot of cars going at a high rate of speed through Ogden and around the Jefferson area. before we can just put a stop sign there, we need to do some,
It's only 6 blocks. So.
yeah, we need to do some investigating, and we're gonna do a little study and look into that before we just go down there and stick up a stop sign.
Right.
We had neighbors down there concerned about that, so we are addressing that. I have a piece of property on 9 Southeast 15th Street that we own. And I got 2 people, and before Tim got ill, I talked to Tim and he told us the procedure, and we got it, I had that on paper. I got 2 people interested in buying that piece of property. And we have to get, Tim told us what we'd have to do. We'd have to go and get
2 appraisals.
2 appraisals, just like we do any piece of property. It's kind of a long process.
Is that house we took down?
Yes.
Yeah.
Have the neighbor that lives there to the north of it that's interested, and the owner of the house to the south of it that's interested. And we have a right, after we get appraisals and get the price, and then we open it up for bids for so many days, and then we have a right to take it or refuse it.
So how you,
So I'm asking council,
I'm fine with that, but how do you get it out to the public? Just paper?
Yeah, I guess that's the only way, yeah. And then I would, these 2 owners, I'd let them know, and then if we get anybody come forward, these 2 has come to me and called me, they're interested. We've got it,
But
because,
they want it separately, they don't wanna buy it together.
no, yeah, they want it separately. Each one's got a place on each side.
So you take bids?
Yes,
Is that how you-
yes. We open it up for so many days. Huh?
Can you cut it in half and give you
I don't think they want to cut it in half, but
You could do that.
one piece of property, and it's no secret because you can tell on the, one owner has, the garage is about 3 foot on the property, across the property line. I mean, he'd like to have it, he first wanted us just to clean that up. And I said, no, we can't just clean that up and go get all that done just to clean that 3 foot piece of property up. But then he said he would be interested in buying it. So my thing is, would you like me to pursue this and start this process?
Yes.
I mean, we have no need for this piece of property,
The only
really.
reason we hung on to it was for construction.
Yes, yes. So I want to bring that to your attention, so I'll do that. I'll look into getting that started. The other thing Councilman Lunsford wanted me to bring up is the Linwood Drive. He asked me about the Linwood Drive property flooding project over there. We're having, and I've already talked to Scott about this, and he told me what it's going to take to fix this problem, and it's a very expensive fix. We have these holding tanks out there on the north side school property, and that holding tank we got out there is just not big enough, and it holds the water, and then it releases it to towards the west, towards the highway. That goes underneath the highway there under the big sewer. And he said the only way to fix it is put a new tank in there, or put another tank in to catch the rest of the water that's coming off of Linwood, is what he says. But I told Councilman Lunsford, though, today when he asked me to bring it up, I said, we have looked into this, and I'll do some further checking. But Scott said it'd be very expensive to do if you had to put another tank in out there on north, on the property on the north side.
A tank on the school property.
Yeah, he said it's buried there.
Huh, it's news to me.
He said it's buried there.
When I was a kid, it used to be a metal grate that went up like that, and not me, but there was kids used to climb in there and go all the way down and field in the sewer.
Well, that was the entrance to the,
Well, yeah, that's down there by the highway.
that was the entrance to the storm sewer.
But he said there's that tank's buried in that property.
That's where the,
Unless I misunderstood him.
See, I would have thought it was the size of the culverts or the storm drains coming down from Linwood.
But I know since I've been in office, we've had some issues. I mean, we've had some concerns
Yeah, heavy rain and floods, yeah.
in basements and stuff like that. But I asked Scott, and he said, so I'll follow up, and we'll keep looking into this. But I told Councilman Lunsford I'd bring it up tonight at the meeting since he wasn't here. So I thought we had an answer, and I'll make sure that's the right answer, and I'll report back, because I've had some neighbors concerned about that.
Yeah. My mother-in-law lived in there, so I know.
Okay. Yeah, and Mark Smith and his wife came to me earlier in the year and requested, had concerns on their property. And there's more on the south side there that has issues. Okay, that's all I got. I think I touched on everything I had down to bring forward to you guys. Anybody from the outside in the audience have anything else for the council tonight? Okay, hearing none, I'm gonna call this meeting adjourned. Board of Works in 5 minutes. We're gonna call the Board of Public Works and Safety meeting, the City of Washington, September 14th, 2020, meeting to order, please. I've got approval of minutes of the August 24th regular meeting in front of you.
I move we approve the minutes as written.
All right. Need to makes a motion to approve them. Councilman Dahl seconds it. All in favor? Aye. All right, we got discussion and approval of pay application number 3 for ARC Construction wastewater treatment plant improvement project. Richard, you say?
Wastewater treatment plant work is going well. The brick is not 100% complete on the building, it's getting close. Trusses are up, the roof deck's on, the roof's not on, but the decking is. They're proceeding in a very good manner. They have requested or submitted pay application number 3, they being ARC Construction, in the amount of $187,915.31. I've reviewed and recommend payment to ARC in that amount. Also, for your consideration, Midwestern has submitted invoice number 2 in the amount of $33,294.88 for your consideration on wastewater treatment plant. I assume that's in there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I move we approve those.
I'll second.
Okay. Councilman Dahl makes.
Brickwork?
I don't know, David. Terry can tell you, but
Looks good.
I'm not sure who it is.
Oh, yeah, I never did hear for sure, but yeah, it looks good. It looks,
Terry's been there not every day,
Yeah.
almost every day, and it's doing well.
I was out there late last week, and like you said, the south side, I can see some of that needs to be done, but I can't see I haven't been back in there to see the west side. Looks good, though. Okay, Councilman Dahl made the motion. Need a second. Is it all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Of that bill, 105,000 of that's gonna come from our Okra grant, and then the 82,915.31 will be paid out of the phosphorus improvement fund.
Okay. All right, very good. Next, we have discussion approval of pay application number 2 for Don Dress Construction for Business 50 West Water and Sewer Project.
You've heard the report on 50 as far as progress. Water and sewer is 40 to 45%. The road, I believe, is about 12%, and according to Mark's report, VS's inspector on the job. We'll have for your consideration water and sewer pay apps for grass and Midwestern invoices. Those are in the amount, grass pay estimate number 2, which is for water, is in the amount of $266,581.55. Grass's pay application number 2 for sewer is in the amount of $122,021.61. Midwestern's invoice form for water is $18,872.01, and invoice number 3 for sewer is $19,469.40 for your consideration.
I move we approve those.
Okay,
I'll
Councilman.
second.
Need a second. Is it all in favor? Aye. Okay.
Anything unusual or?
Yeah, I want
Okay.
to report on some things that are upcoming to get it on your radar. There will be some changes. There's a 6-inch fill tile runs underneath the highway carrying water. We gotta replace it. We are replacing it because we didn't want to stop it and cause problems with it not draining. There's an existing 4-inch water main, which wasn't shown on plan, we weren't aware of it. That runs next to a 10-inch water main, we gotta connect it to. We gotta cap that 4-inch line, because we're killing part of it to tie it into the 10. Then we had 2 flush hydrants, we're killing the 4-inch line that paralleled the 8-inch on 50. And we didn't have 2 flush hydrants in the bid, and we're gonna have those in. The total, those items right there is roughly around $30,300. We'll have a formal change order put together within the last week. All this has come together at our progress meeting last week. On the sewer, we're looking at putting 2 cast-in-place structures in lieu of precast structures. One's between 4th and 5th Street, and the other one, I believe, is around 1st Street. Don't hold me to that.
It is, it's on the north side, I believe.
And then, in lieu of a 24-inch pipe, it's 36-inch pipe, about 160 feet of it. And we don't have a bid item for it. So those items may be around $50,000, and again, I'll have all the numbers for you on this, and Nick and I will review it, but I wanted to let you know it's forthcoming. Now, that being said, there will be some things taken out of the project, such as the casting, or the precast manholes won't be put in. And I think the discussion Nick had with you, Mayor, was we'll probably just bring it before you with these additional items, add them into the contract, and then true everything up when we're done at the end of it. Was the discussion, but yes, there's some things that have popped up, not surprising, with a project of this nature that we're addressing along the way.
So the 4-inch that goes with, along the 8-inch, we're just getting rid of the smaller main and putting everybody over on the
No,
big
we're
one?
tying the 4-inch into the 10-inch because there's services on it.
Okay.
Instead of going all the way down the street and chasing it, we're just gonna tie it in. So we're gonna wet tap the 10, the 4x10, we're gonna dry tap the 4, and then kill the 4 where we're tapping it.
Okay, the 4 doesn't have to be moved?
No, it's on a side street.
Side street, okay.
Yeah.
The
The
cross
4-inch,
Okay.
the 4-inch that was on 50 on a different pressure zone, we eliminated because we didn't have room to have the 8-inch and a new 4-inch. But we missed the flush hydrants when we dead ended. We ended up dead ending the 4-inch at loop, and we didn't have those in the bid, so.
It's gonna be better when it's done, that's the.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
you know, the project came well within budget, and we had contingency set up, and honestly, I feel good where we're at.
Yeah, and Nick does too. Yeah, I mean, both Richard and Nick both feels good about how where we're at, and
The other thing we're gonna do, and this is more of Nick than me, but what was discussed, and Mayor, you may wanna jump in, at our meeting last week, was the road cuts, where we brought them up with concrete, and there's a dip there, we're gonna go ahead and fill them in with asphalt. And the ones that aren't done yet, they're gonna bring them all the way up.
yeah, I kinda mentioned that at the council
And
meeting,
that was,
but yes.
an issue with maintenance in the winter, if we gotta, and plus it's rough, but part of that, you want it a little rough to keep people going slow.
Well, we're trying to.
But anyway,
Yeah.
that's gonna be,
Yeah, by the time this part of the project's done, they're all gonna be raised, even ones on the side street can be raised up.
So they were just low anticipating surface at a later time, or?
Yeah, that's how we normally do it, you know,
inch and
yeah,
a half,
and we go way back in
you know
and
how that is.
Yes, they're gonna bring it up to surface and mill it off.
they're gonna be milled anyway, yeah.
And we
But
talked about, Nick and I talked about bringing it up, and then we didn't, and now we are.
like Brian said, it's gonna be about 5-6 months from the time this is done to the time we pave. And there'll be a winter come in and there'll be a lot of issues, so,
You can't plow across them if you don't.
no, no.
So, but I hope you're satisfied. I mean, I think it's going well. I haven't heard of any major complaints. I know we've hit some service lines and stuff, just
Yeah.
part of it, you know.
Found some lines, found some stuff, yeah.
Had a lot of service lines that no one knew where they were
I
there.
don't know where they're
Yeah,
at.
there's some.
Didn't know the 4 was there.
Yeah.
Didn't know the drain
Doesn't
line
surprise
was
me.
there.
This project's got some
We
age
should
on
have
it.
had the flush hydrants in there, and we should have had the 36. Why that is, I can't tell you right now, but
And the cast in place is just because we got so much stuff coming in there, we can't precast it.
yeah, the one is, it's just been put together over the years, and today's standard, it doesn't meet today's standard. And we can't just use a precast manhole to get everything into it.
There wouldn't be anything left of manhole.
Well, it'd be a real big, I mean, we're probably talking a 10-foot long structure to get everything into it. But it needs to be done now while we're doing it, to correct it.
Yeah.
The 36-inch pipe, it'll be concrete, because we don't have a lot of cover. And the other thing driving that other cast in place is because it's so tight. When we go to the 36 inch, we really don't have any room to do a precast and make it hold together. So something we're gonna have to build out in the field.
Yep, understand.
So, but again, I think the project's going well, and
Yeah.
I hope you do.
Yeah, I've had no complaints on it, and everything's been going good, progress, weather's been great.
They're making good progress.
Yeah, weather's
Yeah,
been
I
great.
mean,
I mean, for that, it's been
And
good.
Dodge,
Not for the lake.
Not for the lake.
Dodge's on the north side of the highway, almost to Meridian, and I think who's a sub to grass on the water, and then grass in the sewers on the other side of Meridian. And
Like I say, I think they jumped around Meridian right now to go to First Street on some things, but Meridian's gonna take some time right there at that intersection. It's gonna be the most time consuming.
And some of these things, we just have to say, yes, do it, because Dodge's coming up, we don't wanna stop them and have.
Yeah, they're
you
trying
know,
to stay ahead of the game.
progress, and it's things that just happen in a construction project. But if you ever have any issues, please let me know,
Right.
but we're trying to
Well,
manage.
take care of the property owners there in Meridian.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we got, and you know, those little islands there on Meridian's gonna get taken out, so that's gonna that's gonna look totally different, and it's gonna take some time. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you, Richard, appreciate it, okay. Just move on, we got discussion approval of claims submitted tonight. You got any questions on the claims that's been submitted?
I move we approve the claims.
I'll second that.
Okay. Need to make some motion, David seconds it, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, we've got discussion approval of request from the members of the Iron Vixens Women's Motorcycle Club to request closing Main Street from 3rd Street West to Meridian on Sunday, September 20th, from 9 to 11 a.m. for lineup of motorcycles and vehicles participating in a poker run to raise funds for Talibeth McCollum, born with Wahlberg syndrome. They called in and requested this closure, and they come to the council. We've got some representatives here tonight. Would you like to stand up and say anything to us about this closure or anything?
We're having the poker run Sunday. As we said, it's to raise money for funds for medical expenses, any unforeseen expenses that's coming up. The baby is at Riley tonight.
Not at Riley. She's at the sleep study clinic. They're doing a sleep study. They actually just checked in at 7 p.m. tonight, and it goes till 5 a.m.
So she has all kinds of medical issues, multiple doctor's appointments. So we're raising money to try to help offset those expenses. We're anticipating at least 200 motorcycles on Sunday from what we have, the feedback we've gotten. We're also having Jeeps, trucks, and convertibles. So we're asking to close from 3rd to Meridian on Main Street so we can all park as one and then take off as one whenever we leave, because police are helping a lot for us as we kind of try to travel, because we are going to be such a huge group. So the Antique has offered to open for us so we can all take off and have a main starting point. But we are requesting to have those 3 streets closed down from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. until we can take off.
Is there anything in there be disturbed? I mean, just.
No, I've thought about this after this request come in. Todd, you got any concerns? I don't. And I wondered, no, there's nothing really along there. The cross streets, you got just 2nd and 1st, really the only 2 cross streets there on a Sunday morning. I got thinking, I was trying to think of a way they could do it without closing the whole street down, but the only way I thought about is there's not much cars parked on that neck of the woods anyway on that stretch, but I was thinking if they could put cones and have them parking, next to the curb and have it blocked where nobody else would get in there, and just leave the middle open, but there's a safety concern there when they're all right there with their bikes and stuff. So for just those 2 hours, I don't think it's going to be on a Sunday morning be a big deal. If it was a Saturday, I'd be more concerned. So I think we're, whatever you guys want to.
I think if Todd thinks it's okay, then it's okay.
And they're gonna, I think they're gonna lead them out. Yeah, that's a very good cause. I mean, it's.
And we did bring a picture. This is Miss Thomas.
Randy?
Sherwin-Williams, so they open on,
I don't believe so. Not on Sunday.
On Sundays, but I don't think it's.
Not from 9 to 11, I don't think.
I
It,
think it's 10 when they open.
oh, they open at 10?
is on,
They open at 10?
yes.
Has anybody talked to them?
I did not, I didn't think to.
There were any storefront churches down through there?
No.
I couldn't remember.
Not in there, well, I say no, there's one there on the north side of the road, there about where, Rod Wright had his balloon place, there's something there.
Yeah.
I don't call it.
I don't know what kind of service, what time of service they have anything there or not, that's the only, I didn't know Sherman-Williams open on Sunday, I thought they was probably closed.
We were there Sunday to practice.
Uh-huh. They,
And we were there about noon, and there was one van in front of the church. I'm not saying that there weren't.
Yeah,
before
yeah,
that,
yeah, I don't
there
know.
was One van in front of, I think what you're calling a church is like two or three businesses down
Yeah.
from the antique.
Yes,
So-
yeah, up, yeah.
For sure in Williams, though, they could park on the side street, right?
Yeah, I mean, we really should,
Probably reach out to them.
reach out to them and, and just tell them, and I think they'd be fine with it. He's usually really good, and it's only gonna, if he opens at 10, it'd be an hour. If he has a big concern, I mean, I
wouldn't think you'd have a lot of traffic at that time.
I wouldn't think so. I was really surprised to hear he's open. If you want to reach,
It used to be, but he did start opening.
Okay.
When we did our room addition, that's where we were going.
let me know if you have, I mean, I could reach out to him also, but yeah, if you probably might be, if you reach out to him.
Absolutely.
You think
I think he'd be okay with it, but just talk to him.
yeah, okay, all right. I'll make a motion to, grant this closure.
I'll second that.
David will second it. All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Aye. Okay,
Thank you.
all right, you're welcome.
Good luck.
Thank you.
One quick question, do we need to contact someone like from the street department?
No, I'll get a hold of him tomorrow, and I'll follow up, and I'll talk to him about that to get, and what he'll do is put the barricades off to the side. You guys, if you could have somebody, put them out there
Absolutely.
that morning, and then, maybe somebody that's left behind, if there is anybody, that can get them out of the road at 11 o'clock when you guys leave. That's how they normally do it, but I'll contact Brian and tell him about it. Okay, very good. Next item. I was at this gentleman request to, his name's Lloyd Scott Smith. He's a retired sergeant of the U.S. Army, and he came into the office and he was requesting to do this project of his. That he just wanted to do something. He's retired military, and he wanted to do something for the support of the police department. And he wanted to, in front of the police station between Van Treese and Walnut, he was wanting to paint a thin blue line in the middle of the road for 1 block in honor of the local law enforcement. It'd be a 6-inch stripe. He's got all the materials. He provides everything. He does the labor. He don't want nothing in return. Did he ever come to you, Todd, and say anything?
He did, and we directed him back to you guys.
What do you think about this?
I like to be honest about this.
I mean, this,
I love the gentleman's support. It's awesome that somebody wants to do that for us. We also know that we have the support of the community, and we're not, and I don't want to say that we don't want to start controversy where no controversy lies. I guess that's the thing. So I think it's a great
gesture.
He wants to do this for us, but we know how the community feels about us, and we know our support.
I mean, he was okay, and I think he'd be okay either way we lean. But he just wanted to reach out and try to do something, and I don't mind. I mean, it would be there probably for a while, and maybe a long time before it'd wear off. But I told him we bring it to the Board of Works and ask and see what what do you wanna do? I mean,
It might invite people not.
I think you open, I mean, it's a
somewhere
great
else.
gesture, I think, yeah, we might,
That was definitely one of our concerns at the police department is, like I said, we don't want to invite controversy. We know, like I said, we get calls, we get things all the time supporting us. And, you know, we love our community here. And like I said, it's great that he wants to do that, but we also don't want to invite problems.
yeah. I mean, it might be someone come forward next month and want to paint a stripe at another location and, you know, where do you draw the line at? I mean, I can reach out to him and thank him again, which I did when he was in here, and, you know, thank him for his gesture, and we really, you know, thank him for his support. But, so is that how you wanna deny this request? And I think he'll be fine with it. He was good as gold. He was, he lives out in Glendale. He's now out in the Glendale area. Okay, Councilman Dahl makes a motion, and then, or would you, and I'll second that, to decline this nice gesture.
Respectfully decline.
Yes, and I'll reach out to him. I got a phone number here, and I think he'll be fine. Sometimes that's how you gotta look at things, though. Okay, we've got a discussion of the approval of sidewalk curb replacement application in front of you. This application for Rick Powers at 309 North Meridian Street. Jonathan, you got anything you want to say?
This will be our last one for the year, due to other projects after. The reason why this come before is because the neighbor to the south on Meridian is getting curb replacement only. And so we wanted to bunch these two together, and that's pretty much the only reason why this one's coming before you.
Yeah, we got.
Now, just to, we're gonna disturb the area, let's do it one time.
Yeah.
instead of twice.
Yeah, his neighbor Gordon Wade,
Yeah.
we're gonna do that. We got that on the list to do, and this will be just, I think this is on the north side of Rick's house, running,
The east side, yeah, yeah, well, yeah.
he's out front of his house?
It'd be on the front.
Okay, okay, okay,
Yes.
all right. Yeah, the rest of the projects have gone real well. We're adding this one to it, so.
I move we approve it.
Is just for sidewalks only. so
Hence,
we're not cutting the street.
Yeah, just sidewalk
Pull
only,
it
yeah,
out, put it back down, where Gordon's gonna actually cut the street, but
okay.
we're gonna be there to put them together.
Okay, Anita seconds that, and all in favor, say aye. Yeah, it's been a great project, and the sidewalk project has went real well this year.
It looked nice.
Yeah, we're really making a lot of headway on that. Okay, and our last thing on the agenda is discussion approval of the salary position change for the police department and electric department. Tim?
Okay, we got the request from Todd Church of the Police Department. I request the following salary change. Jonathan K. Wagner from patrolman second shift at $22.34 per hour to sergeant second shift at $22.85 per hour. The effective date being September 19th of 2020. And also a request from Randall Ennis, the electric department, requesting the following salary changes. Ty Church, first class lineman at $20.06 per hour to second class lineman at $21.07 per hour. And Stephen Arney as a first class lineman from $20.06 per hour to second class lineman at $21.07 per hour, effective September 19th of 2020.
Todd, you got anything on your, Jonathan?
Kane's actually been filling that position for several months. We've actually had that position open for a while. So he's been kind of our interim sergeant on seconds for several months, and we gave him some things to do before we came and did this. One of them was to go to the leadership course. So he's completed that recently. So after that was completed, then we told him we'd actually put in for the money. So he's been doing the job for several months as a,
Yeah.
anyway, and he's done a really good job. We have almost all of our new people are on seconds, and he's really done a great job working with them and getting, keeping everything flowing on that shift.
Yeah, Todd said he's really stepped up to the plate, and he's done a good job. And on Randy's request, this is just kind of standard way they go, their steps they take, first class to second class, and he thinks both these guys have put the time in and they do the work, and he thinks it's time to move him up to second class.
I'll make a motion, we approve all three of these.
All right.
All right.
Second.
And all in favor, say aye. Aye. Thank you. Anything else? Any, Beth? Oh.
The financial.
Oh, I didn't see that on the agenda.
I kind of forgot.
Okay, very good. All right. Okay. All right.
Total bank balances right now, 32,769,910.58. Of course, those are gonna go down quite a bit because we've been doing our pay applications for all of our projects, so that's gonna come off of there. But, at the end of the month, that was the balance. 4,938.04 in interest, which is a lot less than last month even. That just keeps going down. Our actually working accounts, the utility account balance is $9,046, $9,046,634.39, and our city account is $11,953,265.08.
Okay. Any questions for Beth on these?
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Appreciate that. All right, anybody in the audience got anything for the Board of Works? We haven't discussed. Hearing none, I'm gonna call this meeting adjourned.